Love. That's our topic today. The number one hashtag on social media is love. Love is the primary subject of literature, poetry, and drama. Think about it: love stories, Romeo and Juliet, Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights. More books and greeting cards are about love than any other subject. Love is the number one theme in movies, it's the number one theme in music, and in every generation and every genre, love is the primary word in lyrics. Even the first songbook that was ever written, the one that David wrote, is about love. The number one topic is love. In popular culture, the top songs are about romantic love and heartbreak. Love. People who don't have it try to make it. But everyone needs love, and that's why everybody is looking for it. Just like you are. You need love, like your lungs need oxygen. You can't function or live without love. And every generation is searching for love. This search for love dominates the human experience. Matter of fact, it's the motivation behind almost every marriage. Most couples say that they are marrying because they love their fiancés. And that's usually why people say they get married. I love you. Will you marry me? And the person who answers that particular proposal never asks this question. What do you mean when you say you love me? They're so excited and caught up in the thing that when the other person says, I love you, will you marry me? Well, then yes comes automatically. Yes, I will marry you. And so when they say that they love you, you should stop them and ask, what do you mean? What is love? What does the world think love is? What do you think love is? I want to give you some definitions, and this is based on what the world thinks love is. They think that love is a feeling that you feel when you get that feeling that you never felt before. Have you heard that? I've never felt this way before. And they think, wow, this must be love. And you know what? That's happening right now, right this minute, somewhere in your country. Someone is saying that that's how they feel about someone. It's this feeling that they never felt before. Another one that the world gave is love is a perpetual state of ecstasy. They're just living in this world of fantasy. I just can't believe this thing is happening. And so they say that love is this fire, a heaven, a hell. It's where pleasure, pain, and sad, they all dwell. I mean, this describes a lot of people's feelings. Others say that love is a grave mental disease. And they say to love somebody is not just a strong feeling, it's a decision, it's a judgment, it's a promise. While others say that love is an unconditional commitment to an imperfect person. But to most of the world, love is sex. In fact, if you don't have love, you can make some.
Let's make love all night long until all our strength is gone.
Isn't that amazing? Let's make some love today, as if it were something that you can make. How sad. I mean, think about it. If love is synonymous with sexual activity, then when the sex stops, then what? You stop loving? Sex is not love. The world is really confused about love. And we also have confusion in the church about what love is. The Word of God has a lot to say about love. The scriptures tell us God is love, and God is spirit. So love is spiritual, and sex and physical touching is unspiritual. And so when someone says, I fell in love with you, well then when that feeling stops, because you hurt me, what happens to love then? So we have problems identifying love. I want to begin with what love is not. It's more important sometimes to know what something is not. And then when you finish that, you end up with what it is. So defining love, that's our first problem. With defining love in our English language, and that's because our English language is a very limited language. So we have a problem in English. The problem in English is that English has single words for many things. Let me give you an example. If I say, give me some bread, well, then you have to figure out what I mean because you're not sure what I mean anymore in English. Did I ask for money? Or did I ask for some of that white stuff, the gum? Because when you wet it, it turns to gum. Now, how about this one? Hey man, that's heavy. What do you mean, heavy? It could mean something is heavy to lift because it has a lot of weight, or, that is heavy. Like, well, that's deep. I mean, there's another one. It's like because we don't really know, well, then what heavy means anymore. Because the way that it can be used more than one way in the English language. So that one word can mean a lot of things. And this word love has run into the same problem in the English language. So English speaking people have a tremendous problem with love. And, well, that's a lot of people. There's only one word for one thing in one situation. Listen to this. I love my dog. I love ice cream. I love that house. I love guinea pigs. I love my spouse. What did I just do? Did you get it? I just used the same love word to love a guinea pig and ice cream and to love my spouse. Now, my spouse then doesn't know for sure if I love him like I love the guinea pig because it's the same word. See, that's the problem that we have in English. We don't have any other words for love. So when you say you love snakes and then you say you love your wife, you may be telling her that she's a snake. I love snakes and I love my wife. I love her. Well, see, there's a problem then with us understanding that word or understanding the concept of love because we are confused as to what it is. We don't know what it is. So the love you have for ice cream cannot be the same love you have for your wife. So why do you use the same word? As you can see, the English language is a poor language. Think about this. If in order to be married, you had to convince a jury in a court of law that you really did love the other person before you got married, as if this was like a requirement that you have to go to court and prove that you loved the person before they give you that license to marry that person. So, what facts would you bring to present to that jury to prove to them that you love that person? I mean, this is a problem. What would you bring them? I don't know. You bring what? Postcards, letters, scars, an empty wallet? I spent all my money because I love her. So, what do we call love? We're not quite sure what it is. So, we have to figure out what this thing is not. In the Greek language, which is what the New Testament is written in, and then in the Hebrew language, which is what the Old Testament is written in, they don't have any problems with this thing. God doesn't have any problems with love. God knows exactly what love is, and He knows what it is not. There are 5 words for love in the Greek language. English has only one. So love is very confusing in the English-speaking culture. I want to give you the 5 words that are used in the Greek language that we have translated as love. These 5 major words mean different things, but we call them all love. And so we don't know quite what's going on. Eros, which is a Greek word, and we translate that as love, but that's not love. They call Eros romantic love, but Eros is not love. The second word is phileo. Now, these are Greek words, and they are used in the Greek language to define the different kinds of love. But we have one word in our English language for love. That's why I'm going through each one of these. Now, eros is sexual, and then we have phileo. Now, phileo is a friendship love. It's a friendship between two people, and it has to do with obligation and favors. So, phileo in the Greek language is a love between two friends. It's defined as friendship or fondness, and this deals with the attraction of things like personalities. Now, this other major word for love in the Greek is storge, and this one refers to the natural, familial affection between family members. So, this includes your relatives and parent child relationships. And so, this is the kind of love that you have between children and parents. And then the third one is eros. Now, this word eros has to do with sensual attraction, love between male and female. And so, this is sexual interaction. And they call it connection or compatibility, based on chemistry, sparks flying. That's eros. Eros is the root words of erotic and erotica. This is fleshly love. This is not real love. And that's the one that we're going to focus on today. But before we get to this big one, there's another one I added to the list. And this love is xenia. It's where we get the meaning of the word hospitality. The Bible says, practice hospitality. And that's because we need to practice this because we need training on how to be hospitable. The word hospitality comes from this philoxenia, which is 2 words put together. Philo is love, xenia means stranger. So hospitality means to love a stranger. Now, we have then agape. Agape is the real one. The word agape that the Greek has for love, this is the very rare love. Agape, now, the etymology of agape is not clear because it's a word that was created to describe the love of God. It appears a couple times in Greek literature because they were trying to describe a love that they could never describe. And this word is only found in the Greek language, and it was used by Jesus. And there's only one reference to this word that has been found outside the Bible. That's important. This word agape, this is a love that describes a move by one for the sake of the other. See, that's how they try to define this. A generous move by one for the sake of the other. And so this is the word that is used by John when he says, God is the Word. So there is agape, and there is this love that is actually a person. See, God is the Word. And this will be a problem for you because this is why you cannot even experience this love without God. So all the other loves are possible except this one without God. And you cannot know this one without Him. And so we find in the book of 1 John chapter 4 where it says, he that does not agape does not know God, for God is agape. And it goes on to say, and now here is agape, not that we first agape God, but that God agape us. See, in other words, if God doesn't give this to you, you can't even give it back to God. So God gives you this stuff first, and then you can give it to Him and to everybody else. But if He hasn't given it to you, you don't have it. The book of Romans says, "For the agape of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is in us." And so the Holy Spirit brings this thing. So you can't work this one up. You can't read this one out of books. You can't get this from another person by intercourse, interaction with them. This love comes from God. This is the only love that guarantees long term relationship success. Agape. Every other kind of love will result in temporary relationships. You remember this song? See? But it's over now. It didn't last. It was temporary. It wasn't the real thing.
Oh, baby, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Yeah, ain't nothing like the real thing.
What is love? We know that relationship between friends is not love, agape. Relational affection between family and parents because of biological relationship, that's not agape. Relationship between two physical beings, sexual attraction, is not agape. Let's talk about that one first. Let me give you a list for Eros. Eros is the big problem. This demon, Eros, is still probably the number one problem today. And this is an important one to remember because this is what even you Christians unconsciously call love. They say if your sexual life isn't good, your love is no good. See how we relate those two things? So if you don't have a good sexual partner, then you feel depressed and sad. Then you break up. Why? Because you could equate love with sex, and love has nothing to do with sex. Nothing. Can I prove it? Sex is physical. Love is spiritual. Man is spirit. Man, spirit, the spirit man, lives in one of two houses, male or female. And male and female is sensual. Eros is a love of sexual desire, sensual passion. This word eros is used to characterize the sexual behavior between animals. So, if two dogs are having sex, the Greek would say that they are in an erotic state. So, you are no better than a dog when you're experiencing eros. It's totally sensual and chemical. And that's why when someone says that they have chemistry with you, well, see, that's what they call love, but that's not love at all. That's just chemicals interacting with each other. Eros is sensual. Eros has to do with senses. Eros is 100% flesh, 100% emotion, it's 100% feelings, it's 100% selfish, it's 100% condition or conditional based on chemicals, and it's filled with desires and it's unreasonable. The definition of eros, as it is written, defined in the Greek, says that eros is sensual ecstasy. And that leaves moderation and proportion far behind because it is a sensual feeling that forgets all reason, all will, all discretion on the way to its ecstasy. That means it doesn't care who it hurts, what it has to do, or how many people it destroys. It wants to satisfy itself. It's a terrible thing. And therefore, it is a love, as we call it, love based on pleasure, self pleasure. When someone says, I want to have sex with you, what they're saying is, I want to have pleasure with you. And this kind of love is reactionary. It's based on reaction. It's a love that is unstable. It is a love that is me oriented. It is a love that is unspiritual. Oh, what a sick love. You hear people say this often, I'm sure, as you were growing up. If you love me, you will let me. Really? That's a sick approach to a relationship. But people use that as bargaining power. And that is what they're talking about. If you Eros me, you'll let me fulfill my ecstasy at the expense of your integrity. I don't care about you. Let's dive deeper into some of these things. The first one is senses. Senses have to do with the flesh. In other words, senses are entirely related to your body. Your hearing, your sight, your taste, your smell, your touch. Eros deals with the senses. Now, the reason why this is so dangerous is because the Lord has designed your body in such a way that the chemicals in your body are automatically vulnerable to react based on the stimuli they receive. So please don't ever confuse chemical reactions with love. Anybody could stimulate your chemicals. Anybody. If a cat touches you in the right place, you'll get excited chemically. Chemicals are really innocent particles in your body. They're just elements there in your body, and they have a purpose. They are to react to certain stimuli. If you stimulate them, they do things. So when somebody touches your hand or your knee and rubs it real slowly and smoothly, there are certain chemicals in your body that begin to trigger by the neurological system in your body. And it triggers certain hormones to release, certain things. So it's sensual. And this is the key to Eros, sensual. The word sensual is an interesting word, and it comes from the word senses, obviously, and it deals with your 5 physical senses of your flesh. And so when your senses are stimulated, chemicals in your body react. And this physical sensation, sometimes it can be a full body experience, and they sometimes describe it as this pull or this luring, this enticement, desirability, or you turn me on, right? So then that sensation creates this response, and it's physiological response, this adrenaline and excitement, this arousal, quickened heartbeat and sweaty palms, and whoo, you take my breath away.
Take my breath
And then there's this brain chemistry. The brain releases hormones like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, which enhance feelings of pleasure and reward. And this is why people say things like, we have chemistry, we have sexual chemistry, right? So it means that your chemicals like to mingle with each other. This word eros has to do with sensual attraction between male and female. And so this, therefore, is sexual interaction. And if you were to look up the Greek definitions of the word eros, you would see words like longing, craving, desiring. That's about sex. Sex is not love. Sex is animalistic. Eros is sexual love and desire. It's lust, often linked to that intense longing and physical and sensual attraction. You remember this song?
I've been really trying, baby.
This thing represents a powerful, impulsive, sensual, fleshly desire, and it's very selfish. It's a very selfish love. It doesn't give, it takes. I want to make a distinction in this session from real love because Eros is not real love. This selfish love of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of the heart that comes from the world, and it is the key to the problems of our society. I'm sure you've already figured it out. This is where we get the words erotic or erotica, and that's what they use in pornography. Erotic material would be described as material that deals with passionate sex, explicit sex. You might find this interesting that another Greek word, it's the Greek word for lust, is the word porneia. It's where we get the word pornography. Again, it deals with your flesh, your body. Now, this word eros is an interesting word because it's the name of a god, a Greek god as well. And it is the god of sex, the god of fertility. And they used to worship this god by going to the temple and having sex on the altar. If you were to read Greek and Roman history, you discover that this was a very famous god. Matter of fact, this is where Cupid came from. The naked baby with wings and a bow and arrow that they use for Valentine's Day. Eros is the Greek god of love, desire, sex, passion. It's a manipulator of emotions. And here's where it gets its power. So, with this Cupid, it's wielding arrows that strike both mortals and gods to manipulate their emotions. Cupid, or Amor, is this Roman god of desire, affection, and erotic love. And it's often depicted as a winged, mischievous, chubby boy armed with a bow and arrows. And it's derived from the Greek god Eros. And he shoots his arrows to ignite uncontrollable passion and leaden arrows to cause aversion or hatred. Wow. Cupid uses his bow and arrows to evoke lust and control its victims. So don't be fooled. Cupid is portrayed as pure on Valentine's Day, but in his original unmasked form, he is all about lust and passion and hatred. Eros is a demon. He's the Greek god of lust and primal sexual desire. In fact, the word erotic comes from his name. He is personified in lust, both heterosexual and homosexual. And he is worshipped at the center of a fertility cult that gives honor to Eros. Eros is blind. That's why Cupid is blindfolded. And that's because he's in disguise. There's this taunting that happens with her lover. And this story or mythology behind this god is that this lover must be hideous, indeed, to hide his true appearance. So, love from Eros is really lust. And a couple other things I want to share. The family of Eros is Poros, which is personified as a spirit demon of expedience and contrivance, which means done for personal gain. And he is the husband of Pina, which means poverty. And this other one, aporia, helplessness. What's expedience? I want to just expound on that word. The key aspects of expedience is it focuses on getting to its goal quickly. It is based on self-interest, associated with acting in one's own advantage, ignoring the consequences of others. It is based on convenience, suggesting a path of least resistance and high convenience, and it's opposite of principle. And this is used in contrast to acting on moral and ethical principles. Wow. This demon is dangerous. This is personified as pleasure and enjoyment, and Eros is specifically a god of sensual pleasure. Now, listen, this god is still alive today and being worshiped right now in your city. This god is more in control now than he was back in the Roman days. This god is being worshipped at altars on every square block of your country. This god, Eros, is in every bookstore. They are worshiping him. Online sex websites, streaming entertainment like Netflix worships him. This god, you could worship him too. He's in your neighborhood. You watch sex movies on your TV or computer, or you go to the theaters all over the United States and in Amsterdam. They have this God on the big screen. This God is alive, and you can worship him. Eros is not the real thing, it's a substitute for the real, because there's only one true love. All others are counterfeits. Everybody in every generation has been trying to find the real thing, the one and only true love, agape, the love of God. Now, I want to go back to the senses again, and with the touch in cooperation with the senses of sight and sound, it causes those hormones to release that chemical to such high degrees that if you're not careful, it will begin to cause you to emote. To emote means to move. And if somebody were to stimulate you to the point where you have to move, well, you're really in trouble now. I want to describe something to you, and I hope you never forget this. Feelings and emotions are really the same thing, and they come from your thoughts. So if you want to control your emotions, what you have to do is control your thinking. And this is why words get very dangerous with a woman, especially because those words, and men do this, they can control you, ladies, with words. And they tap into your feelings and emotions, and they can control you just by what they say. The mind is really powerful. And this is why, if you want to control your emotions, you have to control your thinking. If I said to you right now, there is a slimy, slithering snake running around inside your shirt, your blouse, and it's going down around your back and swing around your waist, and the scales of it are slithering down your legs. What am I doing? I'm just painting some pictures for you mentally. I'm giving you thoughts. But those thoughts trigger chemicals in your body, and that makes then your whole body change its state. So we call that motion, or you are emoting. You're changing from a state to another. Therefore, if you don't like your emotions, then you have to change your thinking. Take control of your thoughts. So, if you put yourself in a position or situation where you are sitting with a member of the opposite sex and the lights are dimmed low, the music is just fine, and there's no one around, and the sea breeze is blowing, and the moonlight is resting over the trees. Oh, yes, the magic of nighttime romance. Now, understand what I mean when I say your senses, what you see, what you hear. I love you. What you feel, and your body starts doing what it's supposed to do. It starts producing chemical reactions. Now, people think that when that happens, well, that's the devil. That's not the devil, that's your body. Do you understand? And you ask yourselves, you're like, well, how could I even do that? The devil took over me. No devil took over you at all. These bodies are just a stack of meat, flesh, with ligaments, some cells in them, with some sinews and some bone to keep the structure up, and some nerve systems set up in it to make your senses react to stimuli. And that's it. The real you is spirit. And so you put these bodies in a certain situation, and they'll do what they're supposed to do. And these bodies are just dumb things. Your body is dumb. You can condition your body to do anything, and it will do it. Have you ever tried to put your body in hot water, like in the bathtub? And if you put your first foot in and your toe touches the water and woo, burn, and it kicks you back and you pull your foot back out of the water. But until you put it back in. See, isn't that amazing? See, that little stupid body goes, oh, and you're like, nope, you're going in there. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me just readjust myself. And it will condition itself to the hot water. So now this foot is in the hot water and you don't feel it. You understand me? But see, the body condition or state had changed. And so that's why you can get in there and make your body adjust to that hot water. And then all of a sudden it's okay, right? So now you're going to go into cold water and you're going to go in the ocean, right? And you put your toe in and woof, burr. And you leave it in for a little while, right? And this whole dumb body adjusts itself. And then you start moving deeper into the water, and oh man, it is so cold. But then, eventually the water, it's up to your chest, and then everything is warm under the water. And that proves to you that this old dumb body will do what you tell it to do. And so your body, now you keep blaming the devil for, it's not the devil's problem. It's yours. And this erotic thing that we call love has nothing to do with love. It is 100% chemical reactions that cause you to emote, to move, and we describe these emotions as feelings. And so when somebody says love is a feeling, run. Pure love, it doesn't have feelings. So what is this thing, Eros? This thing is selfish. It's conditional based on condition you're in. It is chemical. It is striving to fulfill its own desires. And to do it, it becomes unreasonable. You go beyond a point where there's no stopping. And people say this erotic passion, it's like, they say like, it's gotten control of me or hold of me. And this thing is a beast and it's after its own pleasure, me. And therefore, all it does is react. You touch it, you react. You press certain buttons, reaction. And it just does what you tell it to do, what you stimulate it to do. And so this thing, therefore, is unstable. Now, this word unstable is important here because that's the key to a lot of marriages having problems. If you get married because you want sex, okay, all right, so you have sex. You get married so you can have free sex, license to have sex. Well, now you're really in trouble because sex, human sexual behavior, is just like every other animal behavior. And that's what it is. It's animal behavior. There's no sex in the spirit. So sex is 100% flesh. It's human. And sex between two human beings is the same chemical reactions and interactions as it is between two dogs. Don't ever forget that. Now, dogs is of heat. When they get in heat, they become the same way you become when you get in heat. Yeah, hot as an oven, getting heat. When you're getting heat, you become selfish. And when you get in heat, chemicals take over and your desires become unreasonable. And all of a sudden, all you want is pleasure because you want to react to that unstable me, which is unspiritual, and therefore it's sensual because it's flesh. When those dogs are getting heat, there's no stopping them. You tie them, they break the chain, and they actually bite themselves. Isn't that terrible? And when that thing subsides and the chemicals and the hormones in that dog's body goes back to normal, the dog becomes just like a normal pup. He'd run after your wooden stick and pick it up for you. But when in heat, he ain't running after no stick, no bone, no nothing. I mean, he ain't even interested in no wood, no bone, no food. But then when he's finished, get over here. And he's back to normal. You can throw the ball and he'll go get it and bring it back to you. He plays with you. But then the heat comes on again and it wants satisfaction. But after a while, it's gone again. See, every single animal has that. The birds have a mating season, we call it. The bears, they hibernate, and then they have a season for reproduction to take place. And the fish have a season. The crawfish has a season. Heat. It's in every physical animal. The plants have heat, believe it or not. There comes a time when they shed all of their pollen and they have to depend on the birds and the bees to take it to the other sex of the plant. And that's them spitting out their seeds and spilling out all over the ground. That's heat. It's time to reproduce. And then afterwards, they go back in and you don't see nothing for a whole season. Why is this important? Because God made our bodies the same way. If you get married and believe that sex is love, then you're in trouble. If you build your love, quote unquote, on sex, you're in trouble. Because, you see, sex is an appetite. Once you taste sex, your body craves it. Like sugar. Once you wake up that appetite for sugar, your body wants more. But not all the time, right? Sex goes like any other chemical reaction. There is a start, and then there's a peaking off, and there's this decline, and then it becomes dormant. And so, if you build your life on sex, if you get married for sex, if you call sex love, like they do in the movies all the time, then your marriage will be like this up and down, up and down, up, down. And eventually it goes like this up, down, up, down, up, down, up, dead. It just flatlines. Now you're in trouble because, see, the first year or two of your marriage, I mean, hot, exciting. And you see that, your marriage, I mean, this is great. Man, this is love. But then you see love dying every day. And you don't even know it's dying. And the strange thing is, as you get older and the longer that you are in your marriage, these wavelengths get longer. And that's really what it is because, sex goes in waves, right? So, and that's what I meant, this up and down, up and down. And these humps. It's like this straight line and then hump, straight line, hump, straight line. And then it's straight. And you young people, just believe me, don't build your love on appetites, emoting on Eros. And now some of you, you know what I'm talking about. Remember when every touch felt electric? You talked for hours and you just longed to be together? That was chemistry or chemicals reacting to stimuli, and it caused this explosion in the brain. And this chemistry is impossible to maintain because the chemicals in your body change every 5 seconds. And so, as you settle into a relationship that's built on Eros, that euphoria fades away. Oh, but the world says, hey, you can do certain things to get the va va voom and the boom boom again in the bedroom. Here, take these pills, or look at porn, or hypnosis, therapy, to get more sexual intimacy. And that's what they think love is. They think it's all about sex. Sex is not love, and love is not sex. I'm going to say it again, in case you missed it. Sex is not love, and love is not sex. Sex is one of the ways that you can express your love to someone, but don't confuse it with love. That means if you are not having sex, then if sex is love to you, if that's what you think it is, well, then you're not having love if you're not having sex. And that's where the world got this idea from. So let's make love. Let's make some love. And that's where that idea came from. And it's been reinforced over and over again. I mean, the movies, the books that you see, they're all over the place. And that's what's destroying the church today. And that's why we have all these scandals in the hierarchy of the church, because people are confused. Someone winks at you and your knees get weak and you think, I'm in love. No, you're in heat. And this thing is gonna pass. So you better run like Joseph, because Joseph had the heat. Everybody gets the heat. Joseph, he had the character to say, I got the heat too, but I'm gone. See ya.